Hello, my name is Jonathan Buckley, and for my semester project, I will be talking about New York City's current plan to replace the antiquated Rikers Island prison system with new, modern jails located throughout New York City's various boroughs. All facilities on Rikers Island are planned to be decommissioned and replaced with four new facilities spread across New York City's boroughs: Manhattan, Brooklyn, Queens, and the Bronx. The new facilities will have a significantly smaller total capacity limit. Each facility will be designed to hold a maximum of 886 prisoners, with a maximum possible citywide prison population of just over 3,500 detainees. New York City has seen a significant decrease in active detainees, reducing its prison population by 45% in the last year due to state bailout reforms and post-pandemic safety measures. The city plans to further decrease its prison population to just 3,300 inmates by the completion of this project in 2026. Citywide reforms and increased maintenance and transportation costs has rendered many facilities on Rikers Island inadequate. All the existing programs are planned to be replaced with modern, borough-based facilities by 2026. No reasonable amount of renovation would allow Rikers Island to comply with these new regulations. The new facilities are planned to be built on the site of existing city detainment centers, with the exception of the proposed Bronx facility, which will be located on what is currently a New York City Police Department operated tow yard. The new facilities will have a lower maximum population in exchange for more humane conditions and a more accessible location for visitors and lawyers to more easily visit prisoners. Every new facility will be located close to the borough's courthouse, greatly reducing both the cost of transportation and mental strain on inmates. This long-term project is subject to the City Environmental Quality Review, CEQR, as it is being directly undertaken by a city agency. The city agency is providing the financial backing for this project, and the project must receive extensive permits and approvals from the city. The project is still in its early stages, with the demolition of the first antiquated jail scheduled for 2021. The first task in this project is an extensive project description for each facility that has been proposed and is publicly available. The impact on the local community and resources has been estimated, and the necessary permits and admin has been identified to successfully complete each of the new facilities. The following are examples of publicly provided documentation for the completion of this project. The first major case of admin is defining the land use, zoning, and public policy of each of the locations when the new facilities will be used. For the Bronx Center is to be built over the New York City Police Department towed car lot. It is not within any city waterfront revitalization program boundaries, which is very helpful for obtaining the necessary permits. The other three programs are the same, except they will be placed over the sites of existing detainment centers, which will be demolished over the next coming years in order to make way for the new developments by 2026. For socioeconomic conditions, the Bronx complex will include more than 200 residential units requiring an additional residential displacement assessment. No other facility will affect local residential population enough to require an additional assessment. Task 4, Community Facilities. With the exception of the Bronx facility, all projects will take place on existing detainment centers. As it is located within a school zone, an additional assessment was required in order to measure the Bronx's facility's impact on the local elementary school and its students. The Manhattan site will be located on a site currently containing the borough's district attorney office and state office. All non-detention related facilities will need to be relocated upon construction. Task 5, Open Spaces. No site is located within an underserved or overserved area. The Bronx facility introduces additional residential population to the project area. Preliminary open space analysis has been completed following CEQR regulations. All sites will be built over pre-existing facilities, preserving open space and community facilities as much as possible. Task 6, Shadows. All planned facilities will be higher than 50 feet in height. Each borough will be required to perform a three-tiered shadow assessment in order to determine if the buildings will generate intrusive shadows over desired areas, such as public spaces or natural resources. Task 7, Historic and Cultural Resources. All facilities will be constructed on government sites that previously are of similar or utilitarian services. All project sites will involve additional ground excavation, requiring an additional archaeological and architectural assessment before being able to go forward. Task 8, Urban Design and Visual Resources. All project sites will introduce new buildings to the areas that will result in substantial physical alterations that will be observable from the surrounding areas. An EIS analysis is required for each site. Task 9, Natural Resources. No project site is located within an area that may significantly affect pre-existing natural resources. No project site is located within an area affected by the local watershed. No additional assessments are necessary for any site on the matter of natural resources. Task 10, Hazardous Materials. A Phase 1 environmental site assessment have been performed on all sites, all of which have decided that there is enough evidence to begin a Phase 2 hazardous material investigation. Task 11, Water and Sewer Infrastructure. All planned buildings will connect to the city's combined sewer system and exceed their borough's maximum square footage to require a preliminary impact analysis, Task 12, Solid Waste and Sanitation Services. No planned building will regularly produce enough solid waste to noticeably impact the combined sewer system. The facilities are in compliance with the city's solid waste management plan. No additional assessments are required as of this moment. Task 13, Transportation. The facilities will be designed for easy access, as lawyers and family members will be significantly less inconvenienced to travel to and from borough-based prisons compared to Rutgers. Every borough will see significant increase in vehicular transportation around these facilities, and an impact analysis will be required for each site. Task 14, Air Quality. All facilities will affect local air quality through both mobile and stationary sources to the extent that an impact assessment and analysis will be required for each site. This is through both everyday activities at the facilities and through the additional vehicular air quality that will be dampened through excessive travel to and from the site. Task 15, Greenhouse Gas Emissions and Climate Change. All planned facilities will have enough square footage to warrant a GHG or greenhouse gases emission assessment. This is standard for all buildings past a certain size taking place within the city. Task 16, Noise. Every project site will generate a noticeable amount of noise both through on-site activity and increased vehicular traffic around the facility. All impact analysis will be required for each project site. It is also to note that the construction of these facilities will produce a considerable amount of noise, even more so than daily use, and should also be taken into account when providing these assessments. Task 17, Public Health. Each facility will undergo multiple assessments related to public health. Air quality, noise, hazardous materials, water and sewer infrastructure, and greenhouse gas emissions all affect public health, and the assessments mentioned previously will all go towards this section. Task 18, Neighborhood Character. Each facility will undergo multiple assessments related to neighborhood character, land use and zoning, socioeconomic conditions, open spaces, historic and cultural design, urban design and visual resources, shadows, and transportation all affect the neighborhood characteristic. All previously established assessments will go towards neighborhood character. Task 19, Construction Impacts. There will be significant construction impacts at every project site. as construction for each building is planned to take place over a 2-year period and will affect pedestrian and vehicular roadways in their direct vicinity. A comprehensive preliminary construction assessment will be required at each site before construction begins. This is an overview of the CEQR process as outlined in its manual. Project conclusion. This project is scheduled to be completed by 2026, but due to budget concerns, the final date has been pushed back to 2027, with various concerns over the city's past ability to meet projects on time. That date may be extended by multiple years. However, Rikers Island is planned to be fully decommissioned by 2026. The 4 borough-based facilities will begin construction over the next few years. Overall, the city has responsibly followed the CEQR guidelines, and with proper assessments and investigations conducted as they become relevant to the project, the project should provide a more humane and cost-effective prison system for New York City, effectively becoming a better system than Rikers is at the current moment. As of this moment, I believe that New York City has responsibly followed the CEQR guidelines to the best of their abilities.